Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Money Mondays, where we talk about 3 topics: how to make money, how to invest money, and how to give some away to charity. We have someone that people spend tens of millions of dollars with over and over and over, and some individual clients spend tens of millions of dollars with this guy for years. So please give a warm round of applause to RD, nickname Wires Only.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
How do you get into a business where you're? I was in there in Tarzan looking at a $4 million car and a $2 million car, and not one or two of them. The whole freaking showroom's $1 million.
It's like glass tables with engines that actually work.
I can feel myself hyped up right now. Like just being surrounded by like tens of millions of dollars in cars. Like, how did this get started? Walk us through the beginning.
It was just, it was just all about passion. Always just wanted a nice car. I was trying to figure out how to get a nice car.
So we're sitting here in an RV motorhome.
Yes.
The reason we have an RV motorhome is for guys like you. We can show up at your gallery, show up at a celebrity or athlete's house or office, and we can interview them right there in their parking lot. Tell us about the showroom here. What is this place? What's it called? How do people find it?
Yeah, so wiresonly.com is the dealership website. Our coaching website is wiresonlyclub.com.
Yeah.
So if you are part of our program, you can pull up here, you can shoot content here, you can network here, you can hold events here, and also you can see some of the craziest cars in the world. This is the old Elroy Cadillac building. This is where Elvis bought all of his Cadillacs. So it has crazy car history. It's right on Wilshire and Doheny, right in the heart of Beverly Hills. So it was amazing, amazing location.
So yeah, walking through there's such high-end cars. You have so many options. How do you choose which cars you pick and choose to actually put in the showroom?
That's tough. We have 2 locations. So we have a full customization center. We just finished a car for Bad Bunny, which was insane, which was a convertible Rolls Royce. So we cut the top off a Rolls Royce for him in 3 days in between the 2 Coachella performances. So we have some cars there, and then we have some cars here. So we put the best ones here. That's how we kind of choose what goes in here, because each space is worth money, right? So you got to think like you got to put whatever's going inside, like the 10,000 square feet is like each slot needs to be able to generate enough income for that particular space.
I mean, that is probably one of the most highest quality car selection I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you very
my
much.
favorite one's that it's like a limousine Cadillac with the blue seats.
Yes.
What is that?
So that's a Becker Escalade that we just finished. It's a 2023 stretch Escalade with a 26-inch extension and a high roof. Those guys build cars for, like Bill Gates and Bezos and all those executive style, like where it just looks normal from the outside, but then you get inside and it looks like an airplane. Yeah, so Becker Automotive did that one for us.
So when dealing with celebrities, a lot of the times they want things for free.
They do sometimes. Yes, 100%.
How do you interact when it comes to? You're working with household name celebrities, some of the biggest on the planet, not some of the biggest on the planet.
Yeah.
How do you interact with them when some people are trying to throw them things for free, and then you're charging them $1.4 million for something?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've done, I've watched and studied you guys. I'm huge fans, and you always talk about your network.
Yes.
Always surrounding yourself. If you're around him, good deals and things are going to happen. If you're around him, good things are going to happen. It's all about who you're around and investing in your network. And to get to where I am today, I probably spent $20 million in those kinds of deals. This person needs a car. So-and-so's landing from the airport. So-and-so wants a wrap. This person wants a this or a that. When we were coming up, like being in this game for, over 15 years, we did a ton of that. And it's great because it's good marketing. Some person may say, hey, I want to do this. I'll throw you on the story. Or, hey, I'll do this for, a post. Or we can become genuine, have a good relationship. And we just do it anyways because they become our friends. So it's all really marketing, But now we don't have to do so much of it because we've, we're established and we have a pretty good, name, but we still do get those requests, all the time. And our big boys, like that we're super close with, we look out for them too because they, they always look out for us. So we usually give like friends and family or someone that's super big, give it to them at cost. But probably $10 million in freebies it took us to get here. If you think about it over the years. Yeah. Just
15-year overnight success.
Yeah, it takes, anything worth doing takes at least 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, as you guys know, because you guys have been at been at it for a long time. So, you know, it's really all about your network, because you could maybe do something for, you know, one client, and they could introduce you to, like, Jamie's a great example. When I met Jamie, he introduced me to with Chris Brown and this guy and that guy, and those, you know, Chris at the time was buying 10, 13 cars in one shot.
Right, yeah.
He would buy 3 Lambos at a time.
Oh my God.
At a time. At a time. He would have 3 of the 2 SVJ, like SVs, coupe and convertible, and a wide body Huracan or whatever, a wide body Aventador at once. He still has them to this day. That's his thing. He would have 3 Lambos. So, for example, we would say we met someone like Jamie, who has been instrumental in our career and our producing partner on our show, and etc. And he says, "Oh, what do? You're into cars? Okay, let me call my friend CB. He lives down the street. He really loves cars." So CB comes to Scottsdale. This is, you know, many years ago on tour. They say, here's your pass. Go in. That's CB. Go talk to him. Go in. Hey, CB, how are you? I'm the car guy. I can help you with your cars. Oh, yeah, that's great. I want to, you know, Bentayga SUV. I want to cut the top off of this. I want 3 Lambos at one time. You do the custom Jeeps. I want 10 of them. He literally bought 10 in one shot. Gave them to all his people. Yeah. So he bought 13 cars the first day I met him.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Chris Brown bought 13 cars the first day you met him.
Yes. And I'm talking, some of them were, one of them was, and this was a long time ago, and one of them was close to $1 million. And it wasn't, I mean, this guy would have 10, 12 car orders at a time. So meeting the people in the network who they can refer you to, you know, can turn into, you know, something crazy. I was at Scott's house one time, and Kim came by, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I like this car. How much is it?" And she was like, I was like, "I don't know. I just drove it here." She was like, "Yeah, it's cool. I'll take it." She was like, I really love the orange. It was a brand new Ghost. She was like, "Cool, I'll take it." And then we had a Maybach sitting there also. She was like, "Yeah, I'll take that too." And so these are people that are, you never know who you're going to be around that's really into cars or into your charity or into your business or, you know, whatever it may be. So that kind of network and relationships can turn into business that could be life-changing, you know.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us about the TV show. You know,
The TV show was insane.
so fun to watch.
Insane. It took us about 7 years to figure this out. Yeah. People don't understand how hard it is to actually do a TV show.
Yes.
Even with the biggest guys
Right, household name celebrities.
in the world.
You're like, I'm gonna get
as
Jamie
your
Foxx and Kim
best
Kardashian.
friend, the biggest guys in the world, as your right hand, like call them for anything.
Right.
It was still the hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
The hardest thing. So it was funny because we did a deal with Drake. Drake had a LaFerrari, a yellow LaFerrari. Now, obviously, Drake is the biggest. He doesn't really sell his cars ever to anybody because he doesn't really drive them. He gets driven, but he has an insane car collection. You know, it's the biggest superstar of all time. So he had a yellow LaFerrari. They made 499 of these, and I think they made 2 or 3 in this particular color, or 3 to 5 in this color. So I'm like, okay, I know this guy doesn't drive the car. Car has 100 miles. So I'm like, there's one picture of him pulling out a nice guy in it, but I've never seen him drive it again. So I was like, Fox, I need a favor. He's like, yeah, what's up, RD? What's up, man? I said, can you call the boy and ask him to sell his LaFerrari?
What?
And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got you, dog. Like, he's actually in Vegas. Let's go pull up on him. And I'm like, wait. He's like, I was like, when? Right now? He's like, yeah, tomorrow, the next day. He's like, you know, he's got the residency at the Wynn. He's like, meet me at the airport. So I forget what story I'm telling, but we go to the airport. We're talking about, the show.
Yeah.
So we go to the airport. The plane is running. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, Fox, I just want you to ask me if I can buy the car. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go pull up on him. So we get in the plane. Insane. We fly to Vegas. We walk into the Wynn. It's, you know, all the boys, they're all playing roulette. And we walk right in. And he's like, oh man, he's like, he loves Jamie. he goes over to me and he goes, other than you know, Lil Wayne and, you know, all my guys I love, he goes, Jamie's been one of the biggest inspirations in my life.
That's awesome.
He's telling me this secretly. No one can hear me.
Yeah.
I've never told anyone this. He goes, he's been one of the biggest inspirations. You know how much I love this guy. I'm like, thank God. I'm like, now for sure. I'm like,
because I got a question.
For sure, I was gonna ask you for a favor, but I'm not even like. He's got like 50 people with him. They're playing like 50,000 a hand.
Right.
The whole Wind, you know, like where you come out of the Tower Suites, has the whole thing shut down. It's just like all black shirts and diamonds, and like no one is getting in. And I'm literally standing next to him while he's placing like 50, 100 grand a hand. Jamie is chopping it up with him, and he's telling me the story. And he's like, you know, I look up to Jamie so much. I always watch how he interacts with crowds and his fans, and I learned how to interact. I love interacting with mine the same way, and I love Jamie. You know, he's the greatest. And I'm like, this is insane. So I'm listening to Drake tell me the story, and Fox, they were chopping it up. So we go to the show, like we're sitting on the stage. And I'm like, Fox, you know, you can ask him about the car. He's like, yeah. Yeah, I got you. He's like, don't worry, the car is yours. You don't even gotta trip. He's like, just meet me at, Drake comes off the stage. He's like, meet me at the Rhino. I'm like, this is gonna get ugly. He's like, yeah, I rented it out.
Come on.
He's like, yeah, shut it down. So we go. This is a crazy story. So we go. I've never told anyone this story. So we go in the Rhino.
No, nobody's listening. No worries.
And there's like 5 Maybach trucks outside. It's insane. And we're going in through like this warehouse, which is the side entrance back door to the other like.
I've never been there.
You don't know what I'm talking about. To the side of the Rhino. And I go in and it's like Drake's own DJ and like all of his people. And it's like normally, you know, people throw like 100, stack of hundreds, whatever. They're throwing bricks of the, like, you know, 5,000, 10,000 at a time just on the stage. And it's his own it's his own DJ from the show. So literally. And I'm talking about far from the DJ booth to the stage. If this hits somebody, it's taking them down. It's taking them out. So I'm like, Jay Fox, you're gonna ask him about the car. It's Carnage.
Yeah, I got you.
Gordo is with us too, so it's me, Gordo, Carnage, Jamie, and Drake. And these guys, and Gordo is wearing a vest, like a military vest with ones, just stuff everywhere inside this like black military vest. And I'm like, Jamie, are you gonna ask him about the car? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I told you, don't worry. He's like, the car is good.
One more shot.
He's like, don't worry, the car is good. He asked him about the car, and he's like, yeah, Fox. He's like, yeah, Jay Fox, whatever you want, done deal. He's like, whatever your boy wants, just have him call my people, you know, Monday or whatever. And so I'm like, okay. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm like, Fox, man, can we head home? He's like, yeah, you ready? Let's go. We leave Rhino, go to the airport, and we fly home. So Balvin calls me. This is right before COVID. He's like, man, what's up? He's like, I'm looking for a LaFerrari. I'm like, okay.
You want a yellow one?
And he's like, yeah, I only want yellow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dang.
I'm like,
no way.
I'm like, okay. So I'm like, Jay Fox.
Oh my God.
So I'm calling Jamie. I'm about to send the money. I'm dealing with like his guys in Canada, which they're all amazing. And I'm like, hey Fox, I just want to make sure everything is good, you know. About to wire the money to Canada and ship the car here. Now this is right before COVID. Balvin's guy flies out, Jose's guy flies out to LA. Big tatted up guy flies out, comes out, he's like, what's up, bro? He's like, I'm into this, I'm into that. I'm here to see the car, like everything better be straight. And I'm like, yo, bro, chill. Like, everything's good. Everything's good. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, we're going to do inspection on the car. We're going to take it. He's like, you want to go to lunch? I'm like, yes, we go to lunch. I'm asking this guy, I'm like, man, what did you do? He's like, I sell art. I do this. I do that. You know, Jose's my best friend. So everything better be straight with the car. Everything's great with the car. And he's like, man, was this Drake's car? I'm like, I don't really want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just got the car and whatever. And he's like, okay, we're going to give you a deposit for $500K. I'm going to fly home, have the car inspected. When the car is done, you know, we'll wire the rest. It's all getting into the show, how we did the show. He sends the 500, and then Trump comes out and closes the country.
Oh, my God.
COVID. Boom. 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It says country shut down. I'm like, now I'm trying to figure out the carrying cost for the car.
It's March 2020.
Yeah, March 2020. This is right when the deal went down. I'm like, man, how am I going to carry the car this much, and how much is it going to cost? And it's going to be brutal. The country shut down. World's coming to an end.
Right.
I called Balvin's money manager, and I'm like, hey man, I know you guys, they're in Medellin. I say, yo, I need the balance on this car like ASAP. They go, no, we're out. We're not doing this deal.
No.
Yeah, they said, we're out. It's COVID. It's come. The country shut down. We're done. Send the deposit back.
Oh, they want you to send $500K back?
Yeah, they're like, send the money back. We're not backing out of the car. Now, I had all my eggs in this basket. So I'm like, man.
That's a multi-million-dollar car.
Yeah. It was like $3 million at the time.
Wow.
So I call Jose and his boy that came out, Brian. And I said, yo, I appreciate the $500,000. It's going to help me get through COVID. This shit is non-refundable. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, you sent me the $500,000. You got to send me the balance. They haven't sent the balance, and it's going to COVID. The country is shut down. He goes, man, send me my car. Hangs up. So now I'm panicking. Country is shut down. There's no one is moving around outside, especially here. I don't hear anything for 2 days from anybody. Oh no. I call Fox. I'm like, yo, Fox. He's like, oh man. He's like, everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. You're gonna figure it out. Don't trip. He's like, you got this, big dog. I'm like, man, they give me the deposit. I haven't heard back from him. They're in Colombia. This is where he lives. I wake up 2 days later, and the rest of the money's in the account. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. Now I have to find a truck driver to take the car to Miami. So I ship the car to Miami. I call him like, yo, Jose, the car's in Miami. He's like, bro, I don't live in Miami. I told you I live in Medellin. Colombia, that's where I'm from.
Oh my God.
I said, bro.
How?
I said, listen. I said, come on, man.
There's no airplanes. There's no ships right now.
Everything is shut down. It was already a mission I had to get paid triple the price to get someone to drive to Miami with this, $3.5 million car to get it there. And he goes, if you can't get it here, I don't want it. So now I got to figure out how to get the car to Colombia during COVID. I'm like, yo, Jay Fox.
You're gonna be all right.
He's like, nah, bro. He's like, you're on your own on this one. He goes, I don't know what to tell you, but you better call some shipping companies and figure it out. So we call them. They're like, yeah, it's, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. I don't even remember how much to bring the car in.
I buy a boat.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm in a canoe out there.
I'm like, man, this is crazy. And he goes, yeah, you gotta figure it out. If you can't get it there, then I don't want it. So I'm like, okay. So I call Cartagena because that's where it has to go. Then it can go to Medellin. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So they're like, yeah, it's X amount of dollars. So I call him back, and he's like, man, I'm not doing that. He's like, that's your responsibility. It's supposed to be in the deal, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I figure out how to get it done. I got to take the car to the port now, and during COVID, and we get it there, and they're like, oh yeah, just drop it off. They're like, we got to disconnect the battery and make sure there's no fuel in it. Da, da, da. And I said, well, this is a hybrid, and the battery is a couple $100,000. It's a little bit different than just disconnecting it. Yeah. It's like, thank you. I can't. There's not like an extra set of tools to like just pop open the LaFerrari battery. So they're like, oh yeah, we got it.
It's going AutoZone.
So the first, and this thing looks like a spaceship. So the first boat comes, and they can't start it now because they got the battery disconnected. They can't get it into container. Now this guy's losing his mind. I'm like, man, Fox, the battery died. They can't get it started. The guys are only speaking Spanish. So I got my people talking to them in Spanish, figuring it all out. So they finally get in the boat and they get it to Cartagena. Now when they get to Cartagena, they unload it out of the container and they can't start it in Colombia. So I'm like, yo, this is never ending. So I get my guys to figure out how to start it, and they jump in and get it started, and they put it on a truck with 2 2x4s, and they have to drive it to Medellin now. So they drive it from Cartagena to Medellin on basically on a truck that's like worth $1,000 max. It's the only tow truck they have. They get to his neighborhood, they unload it, and it won't fit over the speed bumps in the neighborhood because the car is too low. So he has to take all the speed bumps out, repave and re-put the speed bumps down in the neighborhood while I'm dealing with all of this stuff, and we finally get the car to him. He ends up I think driving it like once or twice. We sell it for him, and he sells it for $1 million profit more than what he paid.
God.
Oh my god.
Ship the car back to Miami, and now a guy in Miami has it. So Jamie's like, man, this is a show. He goes, this is insane.
Right.
He goes, this is a show. We got to make this a show. We got to show what it takes to do these deals and how you do them, because it's absolutely crazy.
Wow.
And that was the deal where he was like, forget it. This is a no-brainer.
So one vehicle, you can make money multiple times.
Absolutely.
Right. Getting the car the first time, then you're going to make money again on the $1 million spread the second time. That guy might call you in 2 years, be like, hey, I want to sell this car.
Yeah.
And whether he sells it for a profit or a loss, you make money again, right?
100%. Some people buy cars and they just leave them online. And they're like, yeah, we'll drive them if it sells or appreciates. We try to help people buy stuff that goes up in value. If you buy a Cullinan, a Rolls-Royce SUV, we're going to tell you, look, you're going to lose money, but it is a tax write-off because it weighs over a certain amount. Right. Oh, wait. If there's a numbered car or a rare car that's going to go up in value, then we tell them, you know, what to buy and how much they can make and what the hold time is. So it's kind of like art that moves. Yeah. Wow. But the show was crazy because Jamie goes,
so many questions.
Jamie's like, yo, Jamie's like, yo, this is a show. He goes, this is my crew, Taylor and his whole film crew. He goes, go with them and they'll help you shoot your sizzle. And I'll look at it, but you go figure it out. Basically, like, here's the team, like, let's see what you got. So he gives me the film crew, and I didn't have a showroom then. So I called my friend that owns Morphe Makeup, Chris, who I would love to have on this spot because his story is insane. Biggest makeup manufacturer, brush manufacturer in the world. I think sold the company for $5 billion or something.
$5 billion.
Something insane. They started him and his sister started in the garage. So he's one of my closest friends and clients. So I called him. I said, yo, I'm doing my show. I need a place to shoot, you know, the garage set up with all the hypercars because I didn't have any of this set up here yet. He's like, yeah, shoot it in my garage. So we go to Calabasas. He has this huge underground garage full of hypercars. And they sit me down in a chair behind the cars. They're like, okay, let's go. First phone call comes in while I'm sitting there is Future. He's talking about buying 3 Rolls-Royce trucks at one time. I'm like, should we get this? And they're like, yeah, keep rolling. So I'm talking to him on FaceTime. He buys 3 Rolls trucks and 2 Urises all in one shop. He's like, I'm flying to Australia. I'm going to put it on, most of it on my credit card, and I'll wire you the balance when I land. So he gives me his black card. He put like half of it on his card, you know, and then the rest he just sent the wire. So that's how the sizzle starts. And we start getting into all these crazy deals. So we go back. I give it to Jamie. I'm like, yo, check out the sizzle. We shot it. Tell me what you think. He's like, oh, man, it's perfect. Let's, you know, set up some meetings now. Let's put together. Now you need the deck. So put the deck together. So I put that together, showed it to him. He's like, yeah, that's great. Set some pitch meetings. So I call his people. I'm like, hey, I need this and that. And they're like, yeah, what is, like, this guy's, you know, double Oscars, biggest movie star on the planet. Like, figure out these meetings on your own. Like, I'm like, yeah. So we're calling all these people. I'm like, yeah, I have the show. Jamie's gonna be on it, be a part of it. They're like, is he gonna be in on the meeting? I'm like, yeah, for sure. They're like, okay, great. What time do you want? They're like, we got you. So I call Jamie's people back. They're like, Jamie's not doing that. Like, what are you doing?
They go to pitch meetings?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just told him he was coming and like all this stuff. And meanwhile, it's COVID. So I'm like, oh man, I just told like everybody Jamie's gonna be in on the meetings. And the meeting was at 9 a.m. They're like, bro, are you dumb? You think Jamie's getting up at 9 a.m. to do a meeting with you
about 7 and driving somewhere?
Yeah, about a reality show?
Yeah.
So I call Fox. I'm like, yo, Fox.
I don't worry about that.
He's like, I got you. No. He's like, I got you. No problem. He's like, so now I'm talking to all of his people. I'm like, yo, I talked to Fox. He said the 9 a.m. pitch meeting is good. They're like, bro, are you dumb? This guy's not getting up at 9 a.m. for anybody. He gets up when he wants. But he usually works in the studio writing and, you know, he stays up. He's a night owl. So I'm like, man, the only way I can pull this off is if I go to his house.
Ooh.
So I'm like, I'm just fucking, I'm going to do the Zoom.
The meeting there.
I'm going to do it on Zoom from his crib.
Genius.
So I called the chef. I'm like, yo, I need egg whites, wheat toast with jelly. I called security. I'm like, caramel macchiato, tall, take it to his door, make sure he's up. They're like, Fox. I'm there like 7 a.m., nothing. Nobody.
Oh, no.
Nobody's up. I'm like, take the food up, boom. security. I'm like, hey, Flex, can you take the coffee up? He's like, yeah, RD, I got you, whatever you need. Meanwhile, I got this whole thing set up like this in the living room, ready to go. Lights, cameras, computers. My whole team is there. So it's like 8:55. The meeting is at 9. 2 chairs.
One's empty.
Yeah, one's empty. They're like, where's Fox? I mean, he's coming. There's like 40 people on this call.
No way.
Yes. All the executives from the production company, all the executives from Discovery Channel.
Nice.
It's insane, like packed. Like there's so many people you can't even see what's going on. It's meeting time. I'm like, yo, is it coming or what? They're like, bro, just do your meeting. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. So I'm like, you know, I tell them who I am. I run through the pitch deck. I play the sizzle. And I start telling them about the deals. I'm like, this is the deal we did with J Balvin and Drake. And, you know, there's some stuff we did with Jamie and all of these clients. And we make them possible, make all this crazy stuff happen. Da-da-da. We wrap it up. They're like, yeah, that's dope. We'll let you know. We'll get back to you. I look over. Fox is standing there drinking the Starbucks the whole time. He's like, damn, bro. He was like, you're good. He was like, you're good at doing pitches. He was like, I'm gonna bring you to my pitches. He was like, you got this. Like, damn. He was like, that's one of the best pitches I've ever seen. And he sits down. He goes, now let me tell you about RD.
Wow.
Boom, puts the Starbucks down. That's it.
Dang.
And he tells the story that I just told you guys, but like his version of it. Yeah. And they go, we'll buy it on the spot. Don't take it anywhere else. Sold. So that was how we did the show.
Wow.
Yeah, that was how we did the show during COVID, but I was on pins and needles the whole time.
Legend.
But it was crazy too, because during the show, we were like trying to get everyone to sign everything and do all this. You know, we have Tom Holland, Kim Kardashian, Floyd, you know, Jamie, and all these people, and we had to get them releases and all this, and like it was like impossible. I told Fox, I'm like, yo, Fox, like it's too hard to get these people to sign off on all this and like get the
testing,
and like get the real reactions, and like I want to do this for real. So we have him on the phone with all the executives, and he's like, look, you're gonna have to let my guys shoot. We're gonna have to get the signatures later. Wow. So we shot everything on the strength, everything. And then I went and got all the releases, you know, later from all the talent and location releases, and it was stressful because it was Kim Kardashian and like Tom Holland, and it was like some big people.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And these people were not even like responding to Discovery Channel, you know?
Yeah.
Those are our partners. We love them, but they're like, you know, they had a lot going on. So I got all the footage. I ran it by my people. I was like, hey, what do you guys think? Can you work with me on this? They're like, yeah, well, you know, here's the lawyer. Let's get it signed. So I did location agreements. I did the talent agreements. I co-created the show with Jamie, executive produced it, starred in it, did the casting, did it all. So it was insane.
Are luxury assets a liability, or some of them actually assets? Like, can you make money with luxury products?
For sure.
Fancy watches, artwork, cars, etc.
If you buy the right stuff.
As a customer, not as a dealer.
Yeah. As a customer, if you buy the right stuff, if it's numbered, if it's rare, if it has high collectability, if it's the right color, if it's the right material, it all depends on how many of them are made, what color they are, how rare they are in the market, and the stats, you know.
Similar to sports cards.
Yeah. Same.
I got Logan Paul wearing a $5 million iced out Pokemon.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Travis, we bought 20% of that. So we own $1 million of that $5 million card that Logan's out there wearing it at the WWE.
Same.
Like body slamming people wearing a $5 million card because that's the rarest Pokemon card ever. Yeah. So it's similar to sports cards. You know, we have 9 stores now. Cards and Coffee. We have 9 stores. And the biggest thing people ask us is, some of it they're buying for their kids. Some of them they're buying it for legacy. Like they're buying it for their kids because they want it to be forever, or they're buying it for their kids because they want to build a relationship. And that's where they can actually go hang out and talk about football, baseball, basketball, and F1 and things like that. I love the collectibles industry. I was just wondering, like, I see people buying $100,000 watches and $500,000 cars. Are they just wasting their money, or how can they strategize?
Well, they come to someone like us. We help them make the biggest investments of their lives, you know. So if you have like the car that's outside, the red car is 999 of those cars made, you know. That's a numbered car. It's a super rare color. It's very limited. It's very hard to get. That's my personal car. The Countach in the front is one of 112. The Koenigsegg is one of 3 in full carbon, 83 cars made for the world. So you just want to know, you know, how many are made, how collectible they are. It's kind of just like what you were talking about.
So when you start to think about, there's a lot of zillionaires in Dubai. There's a lot of zillionaires in Asia. There's a lot of zillionaires in London. There's a lot of zillionaires in Australia. There's definitely a lot of zillionaires in America and Canada. They're all fighting for the same 83 cars or the same 200 cars, the same 500 cars. How the heck does that happen?
You kind of just have to explain it to them and educate them on if they have one car, why they should have another car, how much it can go up over time. Good place to park the money. You know, with the banks, some of the banks collapsing and some of the crisis, people are investing in cars because they can get the car and the title and it can go up over time. You know, some people pull out $3-4 million and just buy cars and park them as
how does a car company decide when there's 2,000 billionaires fighting for the same 88 cars?
It's a process. It depends on how many of those cars you've had before,
what your
what your profile looks like.
You bought before you can buy the next Ferrari.
Correct.
Also,
and they choose, so they can pick and choose who they want to work with.
I've also heard people like go buy like a reservation on a car that's coming out in 2 years and then sell their spot. Is that possible?
That happens too.
It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That happens too. That you can sell allocations and all kinds of stuff. You know, we try to just, you know, help people find whatever they want, or we have it, you know, in stock: cars, boats, planes.
Oh, so you do outside of cars,
everything. Yeah, we're the dealer for cigarette boats, you know, out of Miami. So we're the dealer for in California, west of the Mississippi, for cigarette boats, so the center console and race boats. And then we also sell airplanes as well. So we have wires only,
like private jets.
Yeah, wires only aviation as well.
I got a lot of clients for you on private jets because I get asked about people buying jets so often. Do you ever do private jet chartering?
100%. Yeah. It all goes hand in hand. The boats, the planes, buying a plane, chartering a plane, buying a boat, selling a car.
One of my biggest regrets is not starting a private jet chartering company because I probably sent $90 million in clients to my friends that do chartering.
Easy.
Because I don't deal with it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I send them out. I have like 18 brokers on my phone that all say private jet, and then I'll just text them. Yeah. You know, like, here's the thing.
Just find who has the best empty leg.
Yeah, and then I just group chat them with that person, but then that person spends $3 million a year with them. I think it's more than 90 million. I probably spend a couple $100 million. That's about it. So if you're listening, private jet friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Last segment, and we're gonna have to just interview you again, or have hopefully come co-host with us some other episodes.
I would love to.
On the charity side, why is it important for some of these celebrities, athletes, people that are listening that are making money? Why should they do some charity personally or for their business or brand?
You know, it's super important. We want to get involved with your guys' stuff, you know, immediately. We work with one that we do with Jamie and Rodney, which is called My Friend's House, downtown, which we feed the needy every Wednesday at like 3 o'clock, backpacks, water bottles, snacks, and we bring the In-N-Out truck twice a year. So we've been doing that for a long time. I think for like five years now. And I'm also on the board for PAL, for Hollywood PAL for the kids. For all of the inner city kids in Hollywood. So we buy all the computers, the Taekwondo center, the soccer teams, basketball teams, and all of that. And I think it's very important because I've had Jamie, Rich the Kid, Uzi, and all of these guys help out with these foundations and charities, and because they can make such a difference even with just their presence. Sure. You know, I did a call with the kids from PAL, and it was like 300 kids. And I had Uzi just jump on the call. The kids, they lost their minds.
Of course.
So Sunday before Super Bowl, I got all of the same kids together, and we went to our other location, and I had AB come. So AB comes, I'm like, hey, I'm going to bring a bunch of kids. Can you sign the football? So Sunday morning before the game, AB came to my office and signed like 1,000 footballs for the kids. That's awesome. Then we catered it and did the breakfast, let them sit in all the cars, and just one kid being around him and having some positive influence and some hope, and you're just giving them some light. It's just the little things, and it can go such a long way. So all these guys that we work with and are around, they really want to give back, and they just you just got to show them where, how, and when. Because they're all down too.
Right. That's the biggest thing that we try to do, is make it easy to do charity.
Make it easy.
This is our 10th year of doing the toy drive. Last year, we broke the Guinness Book World Records for the largest toy drive in history.
It's incredible.
This year, we're going to try to do 10 cities if we can, because it's our 10-year anniversary. But we do the back-to-school drive, toy drives, Thanksgiving food drives, the homeless backpacks. I just think it's important for people to do it. We just got to make it easy for them to do charity because they want to. It's not all about money. the energy, the effort.
Absolutely.
Like putting forth the effort is actually more important than money a lot of the times.
100%.
All right, guys, you're listening to the Money Mondays. Sorry, my voice is a bit raspy. I've been speaking everywhere, and this was important. I didn't want to cancel or postpone it because I really wanted to interview RD. We're gonna have him back. Probably have him co-host with us on other episodes
100%.
and have some fun with us because we're right here in LA. It's important. Have conversations with your friends, family, followers, staff, etc. about money. We grew up thinking it's rude to talk about money. It's rude to not talk about money. You got to have these conversations so we can help our society. Make sure to follow @WiresOnly. Follow the Real Tarzan, and we will see you guys next Monday.